Alright, collective. I started to record this and I was distracted by a bunny and a card went off that way and my face went on the camera and I'm not gonna have my face on the camera, okay? Um, so what I was originally starting with was your dreams, write them down, okay? Um, the spirit world might be visiting you, okay? And this could be confirmation. All right, you've been receiving downloads. Um, my original question was about, the energy that you've put into the past. Um, where, um, where's their energy at? Okay, these people that you're no longer speaking with, and I got confused and ghost. Okay, they're feeling lost. All right, and they're wanting to run away, but they just can't. Like they can't run away from their own emotions. All right, they don't understand why you've ghosted them. They're really confused. Okay, you went no contact, and they feel that you're very cold, and distant for what you've done. All right. Then I asked what um, when these people see you in your success, that's coming up. Because throughout all of my last readings, I've been getting, that you're headed somewhere new because you've changed completely who you are. Okay. Um, so I wanted to know what their energy was, and this one came out upside down, you know, both ways, off to the side. So acceptance, self treatment, intention, self awareness, but they're the opposite of this. Okay, like they're not gonna understand how you got where you did and why you did what you did, because they're gonna claim to anyone who will listen that their intentions were never anything but good. So they don't understand why you just ghosted them. Okay, um, and because of that, they know that they have secrets and that they've been holding from you. Okay, and they're in denial because of it. They're in denial now, and they're really going to be in denial when they see you in your glow up. Okay, so then I started pulling out these. We'll just kind of go down. Okay, and basically this says your short-term thinking and trips success. Let's do this. Success from short-term thinking and trips, attitudes. I'm trying to figure out how, because they go across. Success from attitudes from the past about short-term thinking and trips. There will be intuition to protect your ideas. Okay? You've been working on moving towards your north node. Okay? There's going to be success from this. All right? Whatever you've been working on, like you're actually going to feel successful. If your bank account don't reflect it just yet, you're finally drawing in the attention that you've always wanted. Okay? And it's not a weak mindset. It's not a weak, wounded animal mindset. It's not a, you know, like you're no longer going to be manipulated by the wrong people just because of a title. Okay? In Cancer, it says that you yourself have gone through a lot of emotion. All right, they think you're just cold hearted. No, baby, you're going through the emotions too, but you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, and with that third house, all right, is about who you're around. You're changing the people who you're around. Okay, and because of this, you could be meeting new people. Obviously, you should be. Um, Meeting new people, taking trips, whether it's short or for a short week. Um, yeah, we have peach delivery box and gel pens. Okay, you've worked very hard on exactly what it is you're pitching. Okay, and whatever you've been working on, it's going to be sweet. The reward's going to be sweet. Okay. and you're old school. You're old school, you know, you might be writing on your moving boxes, you know, but you're old school. Write out where you're headed right now, okay? Like in the present moment, right where you're at and right where you're heading, okay? Because you've already worked on releasing things from the past, and if you haven't, you know, or you need a little bit more guidance, I do offer new moon and full moon for free on Substack. Like I do prompts and horoscopes, okay, and there's journal prompts on there, and these energies play out for a range of 6 months, give or take. Okay, so these are things that you have to internally work on. All right, so go check it out for the most recent one. Um, that being said, we have double tap pink. I got eclipse, galaxy, and peacock. Okay, with that eclipse, I keep getting that the words from that song from one of my last videos, "You Will Never Know It," and that is, and the feeling of my lips, you will never know it. The ray of my eclipse, you will never know it, because I'm free, and I'm glowing, and you don't know it, and you will never know it. Okay, they're not seeing what you're doing right now, so they're not understanding, like the energy, you know, the people that you've left in the past, they're not seeing, so they're not understanding. And even when they do see, this is spirit telling you that they're going to be in such denial. You know, they're not going to believe that you went above and beyond. You know, you actually set out and achieved the things that you said you were going to achieve. Okay, we have Grandma Mauve. I'm not sure what that one means. All I get is Grandma Spirit. Okay, I have had dreams about grandmother lately. Okay, like a grandmother is on the other side and is trying to give you those messages. Okay, because we have the chicken nuggets, so I'm getting like nostalgic memories. Like you had to, once you could see clearly, like once the veil drops completely, you know, from your eyes, as far as, you know, were your memories your own, or were those memories that somebody else orchestrated for you to repeat so that they look like the victor? Okay, and yeah, they're not going to know your glow up, because the universe is telling you right now is a time to peacock. It is a time to release your projects. It is a time, you know, if you're a creator, you know, your social media, you know, now's time to post if you haven't been posting recently. um, if you do videos, you know, it's time. It's time. Okay, we had active online green, sloth, and coral reef. Okay, with coral reef, I get they can't be a part of your world anymore. Okay, and I just saw a butterfly. They can't be a part of your world anymore. When they see this glow up, it's going to be from the outside, and they're going to be removed. Okay, their energy is going to be removed because they can't be a part of your world. Okay, and the sloth, you've been working really, really hard. Okay, right now, you ever heard the saying, "The calm before the storm"? Okay, that's what this is. But this isn't a bad storm. This is like a um, it's a glow up. Like, how else can I explain it? You know, you're finally putting yourself out there in the form that you are and you want to present. And right now is just a moment to rest and write out the present moment. And because this is, things are fixing to take off. All right. And when they do, you're not going to have time to just sit back and, you know, collectively think of all this. Like this is your chapter ending and chapter beginning. Okay, you're leaving toxic people in the past, and you are starting to collaborate and meet people that is where you want to be. You know, you're going from rice and beans to a variety, you know. Active online green, like, now is the time to start editing and posting. All right, it take you a few minutes before everything takes off. Okay, take you 15 minutes. Go do moon drawings. I it was in my other one. Okay, so, and I just went ahead and deleted it because the same messages come out. So that being said, um, on my Substack, the picture that's on my profile was a moon drawing that I had done, and the time that I had done it, you know, it was the first one ever, and the time that I had done it is I was going through my first awakening and my first dark night of the soul. Okay, and it was under the light of the full moon, nothing else. So I kept seeing this image of a girl like with curly hair in the in the moon, okay, on the surface. And I actually attempted to see what I would come up with numerous times over the next 3 full moons. And that picture that's on my Substack, even though it looks so mundane, it is actually very significant because that marked the moment when my life was changing. That marked the moment when, you know, I was starting to realize like there's more out there than just what I've been taught. Because so far at that point, I had just been taught, you know, remain a wounded animal until I need you. It was basically how I was brought up. Okay, and that it showed through my relationships as well. You know, being manipulated and taken advantage of. You know, that drawing was like my pivotal point of I need to set out and do something because I'm not going to be found as a wounded animal ever again. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, like I said, you have success coming forward because of all the hard work you've done leaving these people behind. So you've been moving towards calmer waters. Like you've been starting to meet new people. You're starting to adapt, you know, to who you truly are. You have the sun out here, you know, that's success. That's new beginnings. That's childlike energy, you know. And Queen of Cups, yeah, you've already mastered your emotions. And also the Six of Cups. A lot of sixes out here. I say a lot. There's a couple sixes out here, okay? Number 66 could be significant. Yes, truth. You have something coming in. Okay? You're the beginning of your journey. You had to leave something behind and you had to move on to calmer waters. Even though you felt some shame and there might even been a moment of guilt. Okay, you've cried your tears, you know, you've laughed at the ironies, okay? And you started rebuilding your persona. You started rebuilding, you know, the character that you want you want to live, you know. And because of that, you've mastered your emotions and you've even worked on your childhood memories. You know, now they're rewired. Now you know what really happened. Okay, how things really went down, and you were not ever brought here to be a victim. Okay, you were brought here to learn lessons, but you were not brought here to be shaped and formed to be somebody's victim. Okay, somebody's punching bag. I just heard. All right, and this is truth. You have success coming in because of all the hard work that you've been through. Oh, Spirit. Justice. Yeah, you're finally seeing justice. You're going to get justice. Okay, because remember, they still have something on the down low that they're hiding from you. So you're gonna be receiving this justice. Like things are gonna come to light that's out of their control. Came out upside down. Yeah, it's out of their control. They cannot control what the system says what it says in the system that you deserve. Right? But you're going to be generous. You're going to be sharing information with people. 6 of Wands came out. I'm telling you, 6. Again, like, you're going to be seeing victory with this. Knight of Cups. Spirit, are we tapping into collective's energy or ops energy? And upside down again, ops energy. They're mad because their emotions aren't going anywhere else. They're just holding it in. They're holding it in. I heard they're talking to the wrong people, and they have no sense of direction. Okay, and the Four of Wands, like, their ground is unstable. Okay, their foundation is unstable. Right? We have strength on the bottom. This is something that your ops lack. They don't have the strength to carry on like you did. What else? Oh, come on. We have the Fool on the bottom. Let me get these. That's interesting. All my cards are upright, and these came out together. Okay, what you've been through. This is Spirit saying, like, you've already traveled through all this. You've already looked back at everything that you've been through, every tower moment you've been through, every trickster you ever allowed in your life, and you realize that these people were no good for you. And yes, there was conflict, but your ops are the ones that are in that conflict, okay, not you, because they see that you are an earth angel. They see that your light shines too bright to be here. I don't know why I picked up these, but I did. Yeah, we have good luck in starting over, okay? I don't know what armadillo has to do with laugh out loud. Maybe you're going to be rolling. You're going to be rolling laughing. You're going to have a win. You're going to look cute while you do it. Alright? I see you moving. I really see you moving. Okay? And your reflection's not the same. And that's okay. And then the shark. Yeah, they're always going to be watching. Okay? Shark in the waters. They're always going to be watching. And just leave them there. You don't have to engage with anybody. Alright? That's old you. You don't have to engage. Alright, Spirit, can I get one more? We have the Queen of Wands. Yeah, you've mastered your emotions. You're very creative, very nurturing, very caring. Like, you've embodied the creative wisdom. Like, you're actually putting forth your creative wisdom. You're teaching others. You're showing others. You have the world on the bottom. You're starting to share with others what you're doing. Okay, just like I'm doing here, collective. I'm gonna go ahead and pull one of these. And we have assess the situation. Yeah. Write down what's happening in the present. Write down, your goals. I'm telling you, you're going to look back and you're going to go, oh, I did that, and I did so much more. And you're going to feel grateful that you did what you did. Okay? It's going to help remind you in the future that you did the right thing. Okay? Forgive yourself, because those situations that you were put into, you were young, you were naive, you didn't know any better. You didn't have the proper guide. Okay? You have to know your worth. You have to ground yourself and know your worth. Become stable. All right. Look at yourself as a valuable asset to this world. Okay. Look at your soul's contract as you were meant to be put here for. You're valuable. You're very valuable to many people. More people than this little itty bitty group ever knew or could ever even imagine. Okay, take a breather. The energy is gaining momentum. That's why this is the time for you to write down your dreams. This is why it's a time, a time for you're about to have a reset. Okay, you've been building this whole time. Nothing will come of this situation. Yeah, like I said, leave the sharks in the water. Stick to your pool. Or go hang out in some lakes or something. But don't stick around these people no more. Get out of the shark pen. Keep your heart open. Yeah, there's so much more to offer. There's a lot more to offer and a lot further for you to go. I'm seeing water, okay? Some of you may live by the water. You could be moving towards the water, okay? You want to move somewhere where the energy flows. Make time for self-love. Yeah, again, water, okay? Know you are loved. Work through your feelings and lighten up. And relax, okay? Keep doing what you're doing, because exactly what you're doing, as far as your ideas and your goals, is exactly what's going to get you up out of these past situations. Like, you're not going to be recognizable a year from now. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. If you like it, hit the button. Subscribe if you haven't. And in my description will be those links we spoke about. So, yeah. You have a great day, collective. And hang in there, because honestly, like, your reward's coming. And you did right by leaving these people in the past. Okay? It's not selfish. It's you becoming the person that you were supposed to be, the person that you were meant to be before people found out that they could take your kindness for weakness. Okay? You have a good day, collective.